too. That too. It's all about the Murky and the Vikings for me right now.
Highest win rate on Hot Slog right now, yes.
Got that. I got that Lucio, man. I'm picking him every time. I don't know why his draft hasn't started yet, but I just want to give you my personal Hero League anecdote as we buy time here for the draft to start.
Yeah, that's going to take some time as Towers of Doom, it's going to be heavy on global. It's going to be very likely to have bans on global or even taken. Dehaka will be very highly picked or banned. And also ETC along with Falstad here. And Brightwing is also an option. We saw some Brightwing plus Tracer comp or even with Tassadar Vala comp coming around here. Lots of decent draft styles depending on which that suits better for the team. We're gonna see some funky draft coming out here. We also saw Nazeebo coming out.
Yeah. Look, I mean, I think that the Medivh pick is the one that is most likely to happen here. As we've seen, No Chat can play a mean Medivh, but let's see how this one goes. He finally got that draft ready. Grave Golem, or rather Grave Keeper versus the Raven himself, the Raven Lord. Not Honkono's old ID, but...
Not Honkono. Yep, there's an insta-ban on one of the globals.
Yep.
There are four
main
heroes.
ones.
Yeah, four main ones that we see. One is gone. Let's see if this is the Haka ban or even the Zarya ban.
I think we're going to see the Zarya ban. I think GG wants to get that Zeratul real bad, and we'll see if BlossoM lets that happen. With the Falstad ban here, it's possible. It can happen. They can pick it up even in the first rotation. If they want Zeratul and Zarya, which we've seen actually do crazy good work, that's why they're considering maybe not banning the Zarya here.
That will be the time where we would actually maybe see a Graviton Surge coming out from Zarya.
That would be amazing.
For some amazing damage, just having all that CC right trapped in the middle. And
that would be exciting, man.
Yeah, that's basically a wombo combo.
I just want to see Graviton Surge Pulse Bomb combo, just like Overwatch.
That will be very fun too. And then once Lucio pops in, that will be
just like make an all Overwatch team.
Later, it's possible as we only have 3 now. And Ragnarok Span instead, that will open up Zarya and... Okay, they're going to go in for the Vala comp.
I actually feel like you kind of just Zarya Zeratul here, right? Like, you don't want Vala to have the Zarya, absolutely. And if they have Tassadar with it, that worked for GG earlier, it might work for BlossoM, but Tassadar Vala seems a lot weaker than the Zarya Vala. So they might be able to get Tassadar Ariel with the Vala, but I mean, with the Vala first pick here with what's available, like the Trinity for Vala is kind of potentially going to be gotten no matter what you pick. I say Zeratul right here, right now with the Zarya. You've got a great Zeratul player, one of the most consistent ones in this league, on your team. He's finally available. You could take Zarya, make him a little bit bubblier, a little bit shieldier to do more damage in the backlines. And if it's solo damage Vala, which it likely is, you have that. They're going to take Dehaka instead. They're going to remove the Tassadar.
Yeah, and then this also means they have to pair something up with Tassadar. And I'm going to like GG a lot more if they actually bring Tracer into this game against the Vala, especially when Tassadar is gone away from BlossoM. They need that shield. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Zarya, plus Malfurion is still open.
Just prioritize the global in Dehaka here. BlossoM should take Zarya. They will, and they get ETC. Look at the face here. Down at the bottom. I believe that's No Chat.
Yeah, that is No Chat.
I mean, he's like, yeah, sick. This is an obvious Ariel ban, and I think we're just gonna see a Tracer ban here. And I think when the dust settles, it seems like BlossoM won the exchange right now.
Yeah, GG really tried to snipe on that Tassadar, taking away and pairing up with your own. But if this Tracer ban comes out, I think GG will be in big trouble.
They are in big trouble, man. Look, like Zarya also with Vala, I need to see, can push the bell towers so hard, even from the early game. And controlling the bell towers seems to be the key to this map. You can use global heroes to get extra soak and push those bell towers. You could use them to kind of delay the altars, but winning the bell towers leads you to have control of the lanes, which lead you to win the altars anyways. Who are they going to pair Tastar with now? Like a Thrall or melee of some kind? Is this going to be an Illidan comp? I don't think so.
I think that's actually a very good, very good insight. I was actually going to say Illidan will be like one choice, but not likely, especially with Tychus now. And also Gul'dan is an option, and Malfurion. Very surprised to see Malfurion this low into the draft.
Yeah, we knew it was going to happen. BlossoM's going to take Kharazim now, super likely. And they can decide whether or not they want a secondary damage here, or if they want some more protection for Vala. I think it's very likely we see Kharazim Tyrael even. It empowers ETC with the Sanctification. Could even maybe see Mosh Pit. Stage Dive going to give them the global they're looking for, though. Either way, like if you Stage Dive in, get the Sanctification to protect you, then you're in position to get some power slides off once you come in with that global. And you know, that's always important because we've seen Malfurion's roots kind of be a counter to the Stage Dive a lot of the time. You just root right where the Stage Dive comes in. For good game, like, ooh, it's not looking to be a super powerful comp. They got the Tychus for the damage. He's kind of like a different type of Vala, if you will. They're going to go Rhaegar here, actually, set the Kharazim. That's going to give the burst heal to Vala. And there's the Tyrael I was talking about. This draft for BlossoM is incredible. Super powerful.
Vala's never going to die.
That's the idea, right? And for some teams like Miracle, they haven't been able to make this work, but usually you don't get the Zarya. You get only the Tastar or only the Oriole. The Zarya is the best friend of Vala. They are besties.
And here, what can GG actually have anything other than Tychus to do damage? They need more damage. Tychus cannot be the only one.
They need a tank.
Because Vala, you can do damage and also move at the same time, but Tychus, you have to be sitting on that same spot and do damage. So that means Varian, not too much damage, but CC lock-in, okay, that's an okay pick, but I'm not too sure about that.
Tastar is going to have to Archon here. He's going to have to build into damage, and that's their secondary damage here. He's not a support in this case. Who is he supporting? He saves Tychus sometimes, maybe.
Himself?
Helps Varian. Yeah, stays alive. The draft of BlossoM is really strong. GG's going to have to use crazy delay tactics in order to stop the altars from going to their opponent's favor. It's going to be a tough one for GG with this draft. They got out-drafted, but will they be able to take this fifth and final game? We're going to find out right now on Towers of Doom. In blue, BlossoM. Scarlet on Rhaegar, Dudu on Vala, Wiz on Tyrael, Judy on ETC, and No Chat on Zarya.
And their opponent, GG in red, BDG on Tychus, Jaehyun on Malfurion, Good on Dehaka, Hooligan on Varian, and Uj on... What was the last one?
Tassadar.
Tassadar, yes.
Playing that Tassadar again. In the old days, he and Darvish would kind of switch on that on Team Hero. He's got a lot of experience playing the Tassadar. Unfortunately, Tassadar doesn't empower a ton here for a good game. Now, it's not to say that Varian and Dehaka can't do a lot up in melee range, but they're not the melee carries that you think about, you know? This is not the Illidan that's going to have that, or the Thrall where you suddenly go, okay, I've got this protection for this melee, does a lot. Or Vala, you know, who's really the reason why Tassadar is picked in general right now. They took it to deny the Tassadar away from Vala, but then they gave them Zarya, which is kind of like a better version in this case, especially on this map. Look at Dudu. Look at him.
She's got heal, shield, and BDG on top of that. They're going all in. It's 1v1 and two supports right behind him. But you can't really ignore the damage that comes out from Zarya, especially maxed out energy Zarya.
Both teams have really good wave clear. Tassadar's wave clear is really nice, so it's going to be tough for them to just directly crush a bell tower lane.
And will be even better after the patch hits with increased damage on that storm. GG really has to make this connect. I feel like Varian is lock-in for Vala, but do they have enough damage when that lock-in comes in?
That's the question.
They don't have Ragnarok to smash to connect with. They don't have a burst at all.
They're just gonna have to hope that Tychus and Tastar can get it done when the taunt and the root comes down. Maybe the Dahaka drag is like enough CC to kill her there. There's just so much protection. Plus Sank, plus Ancestral. Like, killing Vala, and this is we talked about the Glass Cannon Vala as being we talked about it mostly in terms of MP Miracle, where they've tried to make this work so many times and actually have failed so many times. But this is like as perfect as it gets. Yeah, they didn't get Ariel, but Rhaegar is the next best thing here for what's available in terms of burst heal. Yes, maybe less mobile than Kharazim, but we're looking at a Vala that should realistically never die, and that's terrifying.
And not GG really having that global, but even Dahaka all the way at the bottom, not really soaking EXP. They want to fight here. They do not want to give up this altar.
Yeah, this is the neutral altar here. And it looks like, for the time being, it's going to be controlled by BlossoM just for a moment here, as Dahaka actually rotates mid. So it's a 5v4. They're going to try to delay this as best as they can, but without Dahaka, there's no way they can actually take this. They need to just leave. Try to delay one more time. Big stun here to stop the delay. Good commits in, and actually will stop the channel here. Dudu very low as he may ever get this game, but he gets away. And this is actually, with the rotation doing good, looks like I didn't even think he had Brush Dog. I thought he already used it. They didn't think so either. This actually will go to GG, so well done here to get this neutral altar. Dahaka getting that extra soak in mid as well. One more wave of EXP. That's the difference you see in EXP at the top of your screen right now. Nicely done.
Yeah, that was actually very smart by Good. Just walking and joining the fight in the bottom, and then pretending like you're soaking in mid, and then just going back into the fight. I think BlossoM was actually surprised to see Good.
Yeah, and he came in right on top of Vala from the left side there. So
if that tongue actually connected, I think that could have been a kill, but not enough. ETC does get caught and rooted. Enough damage, maybe possibly Dewey. Small amount of HP left just for survival.
This is about, like, this feels like the story of, as Varian goes down here, this feels like the story of CC versus heals. It's like one CC into another, and BlossoM's like, shield, shield, shield. Heals coming in. This is a pretty back and forth one already. The kill on the Varian going to give an edge here to BlossoM. And the battle for level 7 is about even, as we're going to see neutral sapper camps taken, one on each side.
As both teams are, yeah, basically as you talked about, it will be who the frontliners tanking the damage, and which team will be the one that actually take out the frontliner tank on the other side faster than the other team, and they're going to push it right after. We'll see. What GG does have a little more CC until now. But once BlossoM hits that level 10, they're going to have a lot more protections. Also global, long to compete with Dahaka with that stage dive. So before that, GG really has to pressure onto that global usage, as Dahaka is already soaking on top.
Yep, we had Scarlet get the top neutral camp, so Dahaka's going to have to clear that to keep that bell tower healthy, while as their sappers here actually crash into the wall right now. Because we don't even have Wolf Run for Scarlet, she has to come down pretty early. And they do get here first. Remember, though, Good can always brush talk in. Psystorm here trying to slow everybody down. Here comes that brush talk on the left side once more. Hooligan gets shielded here from Tastar. Will he survive? The answer is no. One dead on both sides here now. Good will have to burrow. Scarlet actually going super aggressive with the shield, trying to keep him alive. No heroics for both teams yet, so no Ancestral here, but the heals are more consistent on the side of BlossoM. Despite the burrow there, Good does go down. Ujay will escape, but it will be their channel. They're going to even up the core health 32-32. This game has been fiery.
Yep, both teams just focus on the tank. Let's see which team's comp is actually stronger. It ended up BDG melting down the tank a little bit faster.
It's just that Malfurion's heals just take too long to get through, right?
Yep, and also Dahaka came in from the other side, forcing Vala to disengage for the time being. And that was crucial. If that actually... Well, Dahaka really didn't catch Vala too much within those last two team fights, but if he is actually able to grab onto that Vala, just grab all the way to the point where BDG can point her down, maybe that will be the difference. But so far, it's just fires onto the tank. They just have to soak up damage.
Yeah, that Dahaka pull may be the the straw that breaks the camel's back. In this case, the camel is Bala to get the pick, or perhaps the pick onto Judy in the front line. Oh boy, Hooligan here in risky positioning. Died once for the similar reason. Will it be the second time? It definitely will. That extra smite damage at level 1 for Wiz here. Gonna help him secure that.
And that parry canceled out some basic attacks, but not enough, as
but
the entire team, except for ETC, committed to bringing down Hooligan over there.
The trade-off here is the Sapper camp that comes in, but they rotate down very quickly. Going to clear that up. They've got the extra wave clear that Scarlet's going to provide to help clear that up. 10 is reached first here for BlossoM, so they have that Ancestral now, which is super important. I think it's in the Sanctification, those two things going to help keep Vala alive and also help keep Judy alive when he's doing all that tanking up in the front lines. He's kind of been the target here. GG gets theirs, though, just a few seconds later. It is going to be that Archon. They need that damage.
And ETC is staying on top, looks like, and meanwhile, NoChat gets caught. Sanctification saves the day. Ancestral right on top of Zarya. Back to full health.
Yeah, big heroics used, though. Definitely a positive trade for GG in terms of the heroics. Not going to have those now to save Vala when she's in trouble for this altar. Here we go. Dudu trying to avoid that route. He does avoid it, which is super huge because remember, Ancestral is on cooldown. He's coming over here doing what he can to damage good. Going to actually commit to Wujay there. Doesn't get the kill, and now he's caught here alone. A big, huge cleanse there to help keep him alive here. Jaehyun is now the target. He gets shielded here. BDG doing that Odin damage from behind. Wiz is super low. Goes down before he can Aldruins. Will he get good here? Nope. Because it's got the burrow. Judy goes down here as well, actually. It looks like independent of that expulsion zone. And Dudu will get healed up. So 2 dead here for BlossoM. That was the CC they needed. Without Ancestral, without the Sank at the beginning of that fight, I think things started to turn in GG's favor.
This is a mud fight. This is a guy fighting without any weapon, just punches, dirty fighting, going over all the time. That team fight was almost like 35 seconds. You just play by play 35 seconds alone there. Great job.
I'm trying, man.
Well,
all I can do.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. They did not have Sank. Ancestral went out to Zarya right before the team fight. And props to GG for really forcing that team fight as they had the upper hand in heroics. And ETC was trying to hide if he was going to go for Mosh or stage dive. I don't think that was actually an option.
Yeah.
As with that global now, they can actually soak up evenly with the Haka.
So much CC on GG's side is what we've been talking about this entire game. So I like this choice. I mean, it's basically the only choice.
It is the
I
only
approve
choice.
of this choice. But we've disapproved otherwise of the mosh pit. So that's part of the reason why they chose him too, right? Is for his ability to protect Vala with his CC and the front lines, but also that's global presence. Maybe used here as it's off cooldown, and we see a big commitment from GG here. And taunt on a super low cooldown, so even though they didn't get the pick there, it's not the end of the world. As NoChat slowly healed back up to full health. Okay, they're going to commit again here. There's the second taunt. Not going to get the kill once more, and it's kind of a game of checking to see who can bait the global from the top lane first. And it's going to be neither using it.
Yeah, basically it's just trading damage, and it doesn't seem like GG is actually doing a lot of damage, but the shields get cut out. And Expulsion Zone used, but that's not going to connect too well. Hooligan actually going all the way in as the entire team of GG coming in together. Big stage dive comes in.
Pull on to Dudu, but he survives. He survives, which is so key. NoChat gets Ancestral. Here's that Sanctification once again. Super good team fighting here from BlossoM when everything was turned against him with that big pull onto Dudu. Well, they had to use every single heroic here. Taunt's still available. Odin's still available right now. And GG is going to try to poke this altar down. Actually getting the connection here onto Judy. He's going to go down. Scarlet looks to get the channel. Just barely gets it here, but this is not going to be a one-team fight for BlossoM. Dudu gets killed by the grenade. And this is a huge win right now for GG. They are making this comp work.
Really well done by Hooligan. He was about to get caught, but really, I think that Expulsion Zone did miss the target a little bit, and Hooligan went right around it, charging in, knowing that his teammates are on their way. And BlossoM, great job on that Sank. Perfect placement of that Sank. Both teams going all out every single time. It just becomes, at the end, which team focuses on which target a little bit better.
No Chat was super greedy with that expulsion zone attempt there. It was high risk, high reward, right? And Heroic's being used super early for BlossoM. Like, having to use Ancestral twice now on No Chat for this reason. They don't have it to save Dudu, who was actually a little bit aggressively positioned there, got hooked, and that was the beginning of the win for the fight for GG, despite the amazing sanctification that went down. All right, they're going to push now this bot altar, or rather bell tower. Here comes the push of the sappers, looking for this damage here. It's not going to really do much. Cleanse has to be used here onto Dudu, actually. They need to be careful not to force this too hard. They have no inherent advantage or reason to push this. They had the sappers, now they're gone. It's triple altar right now. This is a really significant one. BlossoM very much down on core health right now, so this is a big turning point right now for this game.
And Anterior is taunted at the moment. Zarya goes right in, stage dive onto the right side. No Chat onto Chase. BDG is very low, but pops that Odin for survival.
No Chat has a lot of energy. He's doing a lot of damage, even with his grenades. Ancestral now, this time used on Judy. The Sanctification goes down here. Not too much protection from it. Now it's expired. We do see the big Rain of Vengeance going down, but it's not going to save Judy. He does die here. Dudu on the retreat now. And he will get away, but that pick alone is going to help them win this neutral altar, very likely. They're still going to fight this, actually. 3v3. Good is committing in here. Has to burrow. And Hooligan comes from behind. Here's the taunt. Amazing shields onto Dudu, though, but he will go down. Greedy here to try to push the fight from BlossoM to get punished. And GG closer to 16 now. Will win the neutral altar. They already sent Uj up here to aggressively steal. Looks like they're going to go triple, and that will actually put a big, huge dent into BlossoM's core health. They're going to be on their last legs after this one.
Yeah, all they have to do is maybe just get those pumpkin meds and go all the way in with sappers. That will be at least 1 to 3 damage, and by the time the next boss comes up, that will be game for GG.
Right now, any altar channel is a win for GG unless any bell towers go down. Plus the boss, okay?
And this expulsion zone is actually big, but there's not much of a damage without Vala. Vala is not in the fight. Hooligan taking no damage from that.
Okay, Hooligan's caught here, does get cleansed right now. Rain of Vengeance connects with them. Here comes the stage dive, but it doesn't really connect the way they want to. Hooligan, though, is actually going to go down here. There's no way to save him despite all the Tassadar shielding coming in. Twilight Dream was on cooldown there as well. This is a good opportunity for BlossoM. I feel like they should try to get an altar or a bell tower. I keep calling them altars in this game for some reason. I think they should try to get a bell tower, but they also have to be scared of the boss that's respawning very soon. So they have to kind of do this on a really quick timer. It looks like what GG is going to try to do here is actually push the counter top bell tower. They're going to get the kill onto Judy here. He gets locked out. He couldn't walk in because the root was denying him. So it's actually going to be a trade on bell towers, which isn't good enough. It's not good enough.
Yeah, this is big because ETC is picked off without and not having that stage dive. Of course, this will be 2 shots into that core, but BlossoM only has 4 HP on that core. If they lose on the spell tower, it will be a trade and a boss coming up soon. And also, next altar phase is coming up very soon.
Yeah, we saw the attempt by Wiz to stop this bell tower capture, but he commits heavily here, and there's a shield going on to him. No Chat doesn't actually get that much energy. But he fails to stop it. So the trade, even with the 2 shots into the core, is really good here for GG. Stage dive, too slow here. Not going to actually slow anybody. They're going to commit to the fight anyways here. Rain of Vengeance goes down. A great sanctification. Immediate cleanse onto Hooligan here to save him. But he's going to, it looks like, go down here. Pushed away. Will the Ancestral go off? Yes, it does. Onto Dudu here. Wiz is actually the one to go down instead of Hooligan. Hooligan lived through all that, actually tapped in the well. And this is a big problem now for BlossoM. They're down a member. 8 seconds to altars, boss to respawn soon. Any of those 2 options will win the game for GG and will win them the series.
And luckily for BlossoM, this is only 1 altar compared to all the others that can also happen at the same time. But they're down a member, and good comes around. This can be a game-ending
pick, and it is, T-Clef.
Yes, I lost my words. That's going to be basically game. And Tassadar is channeling on this final altar, and they're going to get that last 4 shots into that core.
A fiery series between these two. BlossoM had the Vala composition. They had the good heals. They had some decent ancestrals, but GG forced the right fights enough times. They also played more conservatively. We saw a few aggressive attempts to pick Hooligans specifically by BlossoM. He survived both key times. Those are the key turning points. Hooligan's survival in that team fight was what won them the fight and won them that last altar. Very well done. And Wu Jae's Tassadar ended up being better than what we saw from No Chat Zarya. With all the heals having to be used on No Chat more often than being used on Dudu into more of a vulnerable position, I feel like when I'm looking at BlossoM's like team roster right now, just trying to point out like what went wrong. I feel like what we saw there that was most impressive were the sanctifications. The sanctifications we saw were really good. There was never a bad sank. They were always really relevant. But No Chat was too aggressive at times, and they tried to get the picks onto Hooligan. He baited them really hard, had some good taunts, and there you have it.
Yeah, with that, it was really hard for Vala to go all the way in aggressive as he wanted to be because no Ancestral, no Sank basically means Vala only gets shielded. But even with that shield, if you're locked in from that variant, charge right in, taunted with that CC, and having Odin from the back line just consistently, safely doing damage when Vala actually has to come in pretty deep into the fight where she puts herself into the danger zone. I think that was one of the biggest things coming into this different draft for both sides.
The heroic cooldown trade-offs were always better for GG, which allowed them to always have that Odin uptime when it mattered most. And that's just another good point as to why this game went in their favor. Look, GG was the favorites going into the series, but BlossoM put up an incredible fight. I think this is the best series they've played this entire tournament. And improvement has been made from both of these teams starting from the beginning. That's why they're kind of lower here, right? They played some of the better teams. Now they play against each other, but it feels like if they played as well as they played against each other right now, that perhaps they would have had better scores earlier on in this tournament.
Yeah, at least more maps taken off from the higher teams. And this is a league. This is only phase 1. We see them growing. We see them getting better. So by phase 2, or maybe even by next weekend, we're going to see them playing a lot better as they face on other teams coming up. This is only match number 1, and we do have match number 2 coming up very soon. But before there is the sound of trumpets, let's see who is the MVP for tonight's match number 1.
It's going to be a tough call, to be honest. Not sure they're going to pick. Everyone's still packing up here. Whoever's missing, that's who it is. Didn't quite see, to be honest. I imagine it might be good.
Let's see. There's that Heroes logo, and then it is
Hooligan.
Hooligan from GG.
너무 큰 거 아니에요? 얼굴이 너무 작으셔가지고.
He's saying he's got a small face, so the headset looks big on him. A small face is a compliment in Korea. It's good to have a small face.
Yeah, compare his face to King's face on the right. It's like 2.5 times. And after that long series, huge comebacks, and finally you took that win.
어떤 점에서 좀 많이 힘들었죠?
And what was the hardest part?
좀 질 거를 그러니까 저희가 원래 좀 역전을 많이 당해요. 좀
Well, we really take the lead in the beginning, but actually lose the game later on.
의견이 좀 자주 많이 갈려가지고.
And we have different opinions during the game.
조합에 다 좋아하는 조합이 다 달라요.
Like we favor different kinds of team comps within our team members.
네?
선장이 많아요.
네 맞아요.
So you have lots of captains running the boat.
그렇죠. 조합도 그렇고 이제 게임할 때도
And even in game,
저희가 잘 갑자기
suddenly we have different opinions sometimes.
매번 뭔가 박빙의 승부가 나오다가 그럴 때가 좀 있긴 있었어요.
네. 뭐 훌리건 선수가 오더를 맡고 있나요?
And Hooligan, are you the shot caller?
오더는 다 같이.
We just go around. Everyone does the shot calling.
주도적으로 일단 오더를 하는 걸로 알고 있었는데 누구와의 그런
그러니까 킬 만들 때는 말을 제일 많이 하는 편인데.
When I talk the most when we focus down on the target.
좀 전체적으로 약해요. 그래서 서로 얘기하면서.
But overall, we try to match the teamwork, so everyone kind of communicate and talk at the same time.
4렙 차이 나면서 시작하자마자 저희도 모르게 중계 때 이런 얘기를 했습니다. 게임이 끝났습니다.
I want to hear more about his sick dating tactics.
And there was the 4-level lead, and Korean commentators had already said the game's over, guys. It's not worth seeing anymore. But there was a big comeback at the end.
상대가 실수를 해서.
And then there was a mistake from the other team.
이제 저희가 이제 좀 킬 많이 따고 이제 핵 갔을 때.
And after getting some kills, we're going for that core.
무조건 핵이 됐거든요.
And we thought we could actually do it.
거기서 이제 한 명씩.
And I don't know what happened, but each one of us just kept on popping off the screen and dying. You're the first one to die. What did you think at the moment?
저 구슬도 먹으면서
I had a lot of
그렇게
HP. I
했는데
even got the
저희도
region
이제
globe, and I thought I had
약간
enough.
역전되면서 분위기가 많이 업돼가지고
And our
한
atmosphere,
번쯤
we were all like,
해보자면서
let's go in,
좀
let's finish this.
정신없이 그러니까 좀 포지션 못 잡고
And I
왔다가
think
한번
also
터지고
we were way too
또
excited, that which
아,
kind of
뭐
made
그럴 수
it
있죠.
made
네,
into
그래서
a
이제 뭐 마지막
mistake as
질문인데요.
we were too
여기
excited.
정우서
Our positions
해설이
were some
뭔가 너무 좀
off
깊이 들어가는
to go
감이
down
있는 것 같다.
to bring
이런
down that
얘기도 한번
core.
있었어요. 어떻게 생각하십니까? 지금 정우세에서 노래 봤어요.
네.
이렇게 해서 저 형 뭐야? 뭐 깨말못 아니야?
그렇죠.
이런 표정이었는데 어떻습니까?
약간
저희는 그런 건 좀 터프하다 이렇게도 좀 평가를 했었고요.
And Korean commentator Uther also commented on that core
정우선이
call.
네, 그러셨다고요.
예. 화난 거 아니죠?
네?
화난 거 아니죠?
아니요. 저도 정우세 해설님 많이 만나거든요. 게임할 때.
And I meet against
정우세
Uther in
해설님이
hero
이렇게
leagues a lot.
딜러하면
When he's on our team, I
아,
go like,
힐러네.
our team.
네.
Why?
힐러도 좀
힐러도 조금.
네.
그러니까 영웅 리그에서 좀 사라졌으면 좋겠다.
Even him playing on support on his
떨어져서
team, he's
나와
like,
안 만났으면 좋겠다.
like
약간
what
좀 이런
face
바람이 있는 것
Uther?
같습니다. 자, 그럼 마지막으로
네.
팬분들에게
I wish he actually said more about that
지팀의
core call because I actually thought that was
앞으로
genius, and even though it failed, I thought it was a really smart move, and it showed like
이제
good
미라클전 남은
decisiveness
것 같은데
by GG at times where it feels like they don't have it, and with the interview we're
개인적으로
seeing
저는
here
엄청
already,
기대하고 있고요.
you know,
재밌을
it says like
것
he doesn't really, there's not really a
일단
direct shot caller, so
네, 재밌을 것
felt like
같아요.
that was the
그
best
기대하고
energy they
있어요,
had when they made that
미라클전.
call.
다음 주에 하는데
네. 자, 오늘
And
Hopefully I
then-
didn't talk over the
You did,
translation there
and
for you.
making
Sorry,
my
man.
job really hard.
네, 축하드립니다.
And also, they
Yeah,
are
so
against
이렇게
up against
감사합니다.
Miracle
네,
later on,
맞습니다.
and they think they have a
결과
really good shot going against Miracle, and they do feel confident at the end. That was the last few sentences from Hooligan as the MVP for tonight, and here's the result of match number 1 only. That was
That's
a
right.
long series.
A long and fun series, but it's only the first of 2 we have tonight. Our next matchup will, of course, be between Miracle and Raven. So that one could be a fiery one as well. Raven has yet to take a map in this tournament, but this could be their opportunity against Miracle. You know, in a weird twist of, you know, opposites, I guess Miracle is the first team to take a game off L5, so maybe it all just goes for a full circle. For Raven's sake, I hope so, as it's been a really tough tournament for this team so far.
Yeah,
They've had some close moments, some close games, but never able to take it.
Yep, it looks like we're ready for match number 2 coming up very soon as players have to swap. And that will be MVP Miracle versus Raven coming up on the next match number 2 after this short commercial break.